General Motors didn't have an equal say in its Shanghai joint venture, but now it will. What happened and why is it reversed?
It's an important change. During the depths of the downturn, GM gave up its 50% share in Shanghai Automotive. This is giving it sort of a face-saving gesture. It won't get that 1% stake that it gave up back, but it will get an equal say in appointing managers in determining the direction of this company. In return, it's going to bring SAIC into the South American market.
So that means we'll see Chinese design, Chinese in some ways fabricated
We'll see
vehicles in
yes,
South America.
we'll see that footprint, and GM will help it get there, especially in Latin America.
Right.
And this is important for General Motors. Why? Other than face saving?
GM has been fighting to get this 1% stake back. It essentially is not going to be able to do that, but the way they've jiggered these terms, it'll get a 50% stake in the operations of this company. SAIC wanted to retain its 51% share in order to maintain its ability to show the revenues from the venture. Chinese changed the law in recent years, and 51% is the minimum that the joint ventures need to book revenues.
Okay, so it's all about those revenues. We know that General Motors was making a ton of money out of this. They were getting $1.5 billion in profit from this venture in the latest full year of this. This is a pretty big deal, isn't it, Dennis?
It's very important to GM. If you think about GM as a U.S. car company, it is in some ways more realistically a Chinese car company, Gary.
So. Yes.
Can you maybe just give people a little bit of background about Shanghai Automotive, where it came from, and how it, in some ways, is now somewhat equal footing, particularly on its home turf, with the great GM?
Well, actually, the history of this relationship goes back to the early 90s. Shanghai and the Chinese government were looking for partners. They considered Ford, they considered Toyota. GM moved in quickly. It opened up a technology center in Shanghai. It opened up a manufacturing center, and it helped cement that relationship. It won the deal. It took 2 years to set up a plant. They started with one plant, and they now have more than 5. So for Shanghai, it was the sort of a government, it's a state-owned company, and so they had this gives GM access to sort of the upper echelon of the Chinese government.
And now this is the world's biggest car market, China, right?
It surpassed the U.S. several years ago.
And so they're obviously very important.
But I think the tension in this deal, Gary, is really tied to how you cooperate with companies that may wind up to be your competitors. We're seeing this across the industrial landscape between the U.S. and China. Boeing is cooperating with aviation companies in China. And inside Boeing, there's the question, how much technology know-how do we give these JV partners who may in turn use it against us?
And I should point out that one of my former employers was General Motors, and I happen to know that automotive companies do a lot of collaboration between each other. Isn't that so?
They do, and this is one thing that these two companies have talked about, doing electric cars together. So that's something that's that will be coming out, and we'll see more of that.